Here we are again for another day of working on the Sonicstang. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, making it run. Half as good as Clayton's Honda does here with its new exhaust. But right now, we're going to the junkyard. We got to get a few more last minute things for the car. And, you know, just have a look as we do. We're going to get a plug for the IAC and some antifreeze and maybe some oil.
Did you bring a container? We might find a car with fresh oil in it.
Yeah, you never know. Anything's possible.
Yeah. $90 out of the rad.
Yeah,
then,
that's actually pretty
good. And I mean,
good.
you know, if we might have to like, because I think it also, like, the height of the water pump to the rad top is down a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah,
you know, that's pretty much straight on, and it's even got the clamps.
Nice.
So I think that one would work.
Also got this computer mount, which didn't really plan on, but it's a good style. It's like flat with these mounting holes here. Trying to get a dipstick tube out right now, because that's another odd and end we need.
Someone took the lifters, it looks like. Who took the lifters? That seems silly.
Fuck, you should have come out easier than this.
Been in there for a long time.
Are rad hoses like fruits? If they're soft, they're no good.
I don't know.
It's a little. Any more Cadillacs? Huh?
Any more what?
Cadillacs?
I don't know. I mean, it just has to, you know, be good for a weekend, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, and worst comes to worst, if we know, I guess we need to know exactly what car it came off.
Hey, Cadillac.
You gonna look that up on Rock Auto?
Still trying to get this tube out. It's being
Well, this is another truck.
really difficult. Yeah, this is a different truck because I damaged the other one with vice grips trying to get it out. But yeah, just one of those things, I guess.
Okay, this is the same one. Yeah.
Seems in better shape.
Well, this one has, where was it? Something right here. There's like a
Junkyard hole.
a hole in it. See?
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Oh, you broke the tab off.
What?
Yeah, but
it down
gonna cut it here or something, right?
Yeah, like I cut mine down.
That's.
But you have the piece that broke off?
Yeah.
Because I ended up cutting.
We could make this work.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Or just use whatever, but
I cut it
part
down
of it.
and then I welded that back on.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
I don't know, you got the note.
Besides glassing for some more rad hoses, maybe.
I just want to go look at this old Pontiac. Maybe it has those bolts in it.
Do you notice the tailgate on the ground back there that was kind of like used as a bridge was like a good condition
Orange, yeah.
old body style?
That's what I said. I'm like, that's a pretty nice tailgate. Kind of shaped and stuff like.
Yeah, didn't have any rust. This one looks kind of. It was better than this one, and yeah.
Well, they're there.
You should go lay in the back of the hearse for the thumbnail.
I need a tool.
Why don't you start this bad bitch up? What a ripper.
I think it's a little faster.
We're now at Clayton's.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. It's also part of going drag racing this weekend is servicing the motorhome.
Yeah.
The tow rig. Let's go see all the new things with the Mustang. Because there's a lot, because there's been like 2 days of working on it that I didn't record since the last video you saw. Starting off with the fuel cell. We got the old mounts welded to it. And more importantly, let's see if we can get you guys a look in here. Yeah, the fuel pump is in there. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. You can see how Rob did that, hopefully. Is any luck? See here, the fuel pump, I was gonna say fuel pump wires. I've done a lot of wiring lately. The fuel pump hoses and PTFE hoses are at the back and all ran throughout the car. We'll see more of that at the front, but we got the filter here. This part of the line here is just going to be cut, you know, probably about here to go to there once we put that in there, which I'm going to be doing in a second, along with welding in those tabs for good because we have gas. Rob brought the gas. And you might be asking yourself, what is this? No, it is not a sub box. It is a water box for the air to water intercooler. You can see in there, bad camera manning right now, sorry. But there's holes in the hose that's gonna go to these ports here, which we have to find adapters for. Yeah, and this is a water tank that Pete bought and letting us use for this race, and should work well. The battery will go here, of course, with my shitty battery hold down I made 10 years ago. Got the fuse block here, which you guys already saw, but also now have the two-step in place. It's all wired. Don't mind this, I'll fix this when I have more time. But everywhere else, it's like done how I'd want it, really nice. But the coil wires, I just I didn't want to shorten and do all that right now. I just kind of took the wires that this had and made the best out of them to reach either side of the engine bay where the coils are, because it's a bit of a stretch. So I kind of just separated the two, you know, runs of wires in there and was able to stretch it. Anyway, rambling. That's about it in here. The computer, we got that thing at the junkyard, so I'm gonna look into mounting that. But for tonight, we can just sit the computer in there. Don't have to mount it or anything. And then up here, wiring city. This is where I've been for the last 3 days. So we have all the different, here's the coil ones. It's gonna go over here to the coils. All the injectors, which I was silly and thought I would just know by the lengths which one was which, but now I have no idea which one goes to where, so I'll have to quickly
I was thinking that last night.
have to quickly continuity test those, but that's no big deal. There was 2 connectors that were black and the rest are gray, so I put those on the furthest forward injectors to know, so I know that. I could always put a zip tie around 4 and then a zip tie around 4. I'd probably know. O2 sensors are in there. We have a rad hose, the one we just got from the junkyard. And I mean, you guys probably been looking at it already, but look at that. It's like a guy flexing with his arms, you know? But I originally planned to have a 90 out of here and then a straight in here and have, you know, this mounted parallel, but it turns out that there's not enough room for a hose if you do that. The fittings barely even fit like that. So to make enough room, we had to go out this side, 90, 90, and then in here. And at first it didn't sound maybe, you know, nice. That looks like it'll fit. Have to just move this up, but that is kind of where we thought it would be, right?
Oh yeah, because the belt goes under the water pump, right?
Over it, and yeah. Because it spins it backwards, yeah.
Yeah, we can move that.
Yeah, tensioner just got here. Literally, when we were on our way out here, I picked it up.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You saw the bracket. Yeah, the fuel Y. I don't know if you saw that, but now you're seeing it. That's about it for under the hood. I mean, fan. Shit, list goes on. We've done a lot of stuff. I just thought I'd knock the wiring out quick and not worry too much about videoing, just so we can get back to the funner stuff, because wiring is very tedious and boring. And hopefully, with any luck today, we'll start it NA with a big hole there that's gonna shoot a rock through Clayton's ceiling and put smoke and fuel everywhere in the air.
Into the attic.
Into the attic, yeah. Watch out, Anne Frank. I'll cut that out. Clayton really spearheaded these lines here. He was the line guy. Frago's quality kind of won him over, and you couldn't keep him off though.
I love doing lines.
Yeah. Welding those tabs in for good. Fuel tank city.
Wow, from the first dot to the low point.
Are you gonna mark each dot?
No.
Like factory?
No. We'll just do something like that.
Clayton,
Hold on, sorry. Okay.
all the way through.
Low and full. So you want to be in the middle.
There you go. Custom.
Add. Just right. Full.
And then head gasket. But yeah, shorten the tube. You take the end off because it fits into here, and weld it on when you cut it. And now we'll have a shortened dipstick. Meanwhile, on the car, Clayton actually took the spacer off his car because the spacer for this is coming tomorrow, they say. And the map sensor hit the plug over there. And we're trying to do this NA startup, so to bolt it down and have it good for now, we just have that spacer in there temporarily. All the wiring is on the engine right now. Can't see much though, eh? But that's the idea. The coils are ugly and crazy, and I just use the stock harnesses and plug them in. Wires go in here.
All right.
And back here, I haven't even looked in a minute. Look at this fanciness. Custom bulkhead there for the fuel pump wires. Return. Vent. Yeah.
Number one.
Wiring. I'm gonna have to extend the fuel pump activation wire so it can go in the back where the relay is gonna be, so the computer can control the pump. I'll have to wire in the OBD2 plug somewhere here so that I can tune it, right? And access the computer, and just put power to this, constant power, and one relay in front of this that sends this switched power when the ignition is on. And then it's ready to start. So we're close. We're gonna break for dinner now, Sonia's. But it's getting really close, and it'll be cool just to hear it start. I mean, it might have a huge knock or might just explode right in front of us, so that's one thing in itself.
These two, like upside down, so they're pointing up, thinking that would help. Because then now you can get at them. The only problem is
The wires.
it puts the wires pointing this way, and then
Wait, what?
like you'd almost have to go.
Over top of the charge.
Well, you'd have to go like, you know, you'd have to run them down, I guess. But
Explain the oversight, Mike.
Well, my fancy overcomplicated coil brackets that I probably took way too long to build that put the coils.
now I flip these ones around.
Yeah, those
The
used to
problem,
face
the
down.
problem is when they were facing the same way as this. Well, you could put these wires on, but you can't get these ones on because they're These are in the way. There's no clearance.
No clearance to get the boot clicked into.
So now I tried turning on this way, thinking this could work, but then because the charge tube is here, now the wires are going to either have to go over the charge tube, which would be weird, or somehow flip around and go under, which also would be weird. So,
or we have to lift that bracket up some. Like if we use a spacer on one end of the bracket.
On this bracket, you're saying?
Yeah.
But then you still got
This
the
side
issue that the
doesn't-
charge tube is there.
This side doesn't have much more to come up before it's at the lip either.
Yeah.
So a bit of a
Running on 4.
bit of an issue. Meanwhile, I've been doing some wiring back here. Got the relay in for the fuel pump, power in the ground, the switch, and the green wire goes up to the ECM to turn it on and off. Just made the final connection right there, so getting ever closer on the never-ending wiring. But just a little bit of power wires to there, and it's ready to start basically. All right, so it's the next day. I've been here for like 6 hours already, but I didn't pull out the camera until now because we've just been hammered down trying to get her ready for the NA start, the big NA start. And right now it basically is. We had to switch this rad hose to the longer one here, but it works out because, you know, we'll put this the factory way and then stays out of the way of the belt. Sorry, a little overwhelmed right now, a lot going on about the first start.
Yeah,
I can barely hold the camera.
I doubted you.
Well, see what happens, but if you guys can smell, there's fuel in the tank. My fancy RCI tank here.
Yes.
It's got gas. We're gonna run the return just into a bucket at first in case there's any shit to blow out, but there's that fuel pump relay I was saying last night. I hooked up, you couldn't see. Got the battery in there. We're about to put the terminals on for the first time, but everything should be good. I did all the LS wiring. It's all on that fuse block there. Computer's plugged in. The main power and starter relays right there. So I got a lot of the constant power from there. These switches that were in it before are gonna work for now. Should probably turn that off before we connect the battery. Yeah. Let's connect the battery first, make sure nothing explodes.
You got TPS sensor.
Yeah, there's gonna be a couple things before we hit the starter button. Hopefully the starter doesn't just start cranking when we connect the battery cables because I've connected them wrong, but
Still don't have a belt.
yeah, so it's gonna be a NA,
No cruise.
no cooling.
No cruise today.
Wow. I mean, I guess if there was, technically we could drive it a little bit, but
I could just lean on that. Just do that. That'll work.
yeah. If we had a long string that went from there and then inside, and we could like just keep pulling it sideways.
Like pulling in the laundry.
Yeah.
The line.
Okay, let's connect the battery. Switch is off. Oh. Okay, listen for explosions. Does this even reach? Oh.
Music started playing.
Yeah, the sub started booming. We gotta position this just a little different. And that one will just leave loose
For quicker removal.
for safety. Well, nothing exploded yet. Oh, I haven't turned the thing though. Okay,
Main
next
power?
next test.
No smoke.
No smoke, no explosions. Nothing up here. All right, well, I hit the ignition switch. It won't start, and it won't fuel pump because we still haven't put the relay in. But
Hold on. I guess you're just gonna see if it bumps.
no, I'm not even gonna bump it.
Oh.
Just turn the computer on.
Nice.
But yeah, the switch at the back should cut everything off if need.
In case you don't make it back.
Yeah.
I thought I heard an IAC or something. Does that make sense?
No. I mean, well, the two-step light is on. I guess next.
Cycle the fuel pump?
Yeah. Connect the fuel pump relay and see if that works. Put these tools away. We should be live. Clayton's just gonna hold the return to hopefully piss into that bucket on the floor. And hopefully the fuel pump should prime when I hit this switch. This is nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah. Definitely pumping, no fuel yet, but not yet. Okay. No.
Big dash 10 line to fill up, I guess.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. There's a squirter. Give her again, obviously. Yeah, I bet a shit came out like at first and...
One more?
Hold on, hold on. Alright. Oh. It's like a morning.
Looks clean though now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Tighten this. This should be tight.
Yeah. I haven't even looked at the front yet. Oh, we need to set the regulator pressure too.
Oh yeah, any other leaks?
Seems good so far. You're
disturbing what's left of my brain.
It's at like 8 super low.
We'll have to adjust that. That'll be the next thing.
Oh, hold on, it's all loose.
Yeah, we'll
I thought
check.
they were like preset.
We'll check for more leaks, and then we might be cranking this thing. And the exhaust will be shooting out there temporarily.
What do you want? 50? 5?
Uh,
Because on a turbo you want a lower base.
you want room, yeah. 55's good, probably.
Room to grow. 55.
I mean, we'll be able to get an idea of it here, and then we'll have to set it when it's running. Whether we do that now, I don't know if we're gonna run it long enough for that. All right, so we found a. Huh?
Injectors.
Oh God.
That the fitting might be easier just to take these two valley bolts out, just to
Tilt it forward, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna deal with that, but first I'll say what I was gonna say when I thought we were just about to start it. So this car, if you didn't know, had a small block Ford, 434 cubic inches of nitrous, 13-to-1 compression, race car power. And then I was driving it to the track and it broke, and it started making noise like a couple kilometers past Clayton's road. So I turned around and I came here, just you know, getting it going and then turning it off because the engine was clanking so bad. Or, you know, it ended up being the valve train. And here it's sat, and at multiple places for at least 7 years. It's the first time there's been fuel in it in 7 years. First time there's been a battery giving it power, 7 years. And the first time this LS engine will start since I rebuilt it probably 5 years ago.
What have you been doing?
Working on the shit horse, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's just been, you know, left to rot. But now,
Neglected.
hopefully it's gonna be good. This one more fitting, yeah, it's probably because it's an ORB. I probably just twisted it in there and didn't.
Well, that's the problem when you got 12 hands.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good so far, but yeah, we'll get that cleaned up and then be hitting that start button.
Oh.
What, start it?
No, just precisely.
This side's leaking now.
What?
Well, you go eat dinner.
No, I mean,
I'll start taking this apart, I guess. And
it's not a leak that it's gonna go up in a ball of flames. You can do everything we want to do today.
wow.
What?
Do you want to just hit the button then? See what it does?
Well, that's what everyone's here for. Like I said, if it was gushing fuel, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we're only gonna let it run for a second or two anyway. I figure.
And we'll look at it tomorrow.
We'll see what happens. You wanna, yeah, work the throttle, and hopefully when I click off, it turns off. but it should.
If it doesn't, you want to shut the main power off at the back?
Yeah. I can run pretty quick too. You ready?
This can stay disconnected.
Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna suck in immediately up there.
Like what base tune do you have it?
I have no idea, just a stock truck, I guess.
So.
Well, let's see if it even cranks, or if it, you know. Well, it wouldn't be a Mustang if it did.
Oh, is that doing the click thing?
Unless I connect, unless it's reversed. Let me just try clicking it. Yeah, so. I mean, it should be something easy to fix. Alright, I had to ground the Ford style starter solenoid, the one that sends power to the solenoid on the starter. Apparently ground, I had the multimeter on there and Riley was bumping it over and it worked just because it grounded through the multimeter. So now it should work. We don't have the fuel pump relay connected. We're just going to try to see if it bumps over and turn it a bit since this engine hasn't moved in 5-6 years. This main power lens?
I just heard that, yeah, it's on.
It's on, yeah. Okay. Ignition. Ah.
I don't know why it's turning over so weak and slow.
Let's check the old battery voltage. Either that or that solenoid is a little fucked up. Alright, so what I'm trying to do now, because it seems to be the most logical thing, is I'm going to replace the starter solenoid. So I've already got those two connectors transferred over. Just have to get all the powers off. Guess I never really explained. So as far as wiring, and you guys maybe will criticize me, but ground on the battery here obviously goes to chassis ground. Then the positive goes to the switch, you know, the race car on-off switch. And then when it's switched, it gives power to a large gauge yellow wire that goes all the way to the starter underneath. And then this heavy gauge red wire here comes from the starter. So this is battery positive, basically. Goes into this side of the relay, giving all these constant power, at least when the switch in the back is turned on. And then this I already transferred over, but that goes to the starter start, you know, like the smaller terminal on the LS starter. And I think this wire is good enough size. It's the same on the shit horse. I went and looked, and Riley's car is similar as well. So hopefully it's just a starter. It is mounted on this like factory, you know, heat sound deadener shit. So I put a ground, which I might have mentioned already. That was the first thing we did to make it start clicking. But maybe that's not enough. Right now I'm thinking we'll just switch this and see what happens. And then if it needs more grounding, maybe I'll just try chip all this shit off. Huh. No, it'll be difficult. Or I can just mount the solenoid somewhere, because it grounds through the back, right? So running this ground lead from a good sanded down ground source, which I have up there for everything else, should be enough, you know, when it's bolted to the body. But yeah, we'll see. So let's see how this works out. All right, so I switched the solenoid. No difference, no change. Yeah. I also noticed, I didn't check last time, I checked that, make sure this thing's off, yeah, I checked that this is the one that goes to the starter to activate it. It was dropping down to 8 volts, but this, which is constant power, is actually also dropping down to 8 volts on cranking. So something's just up there with that. Like when cranking, voltage drops to 8 when it shouldn't. drop that much, I would think. So, you know, just for fun, I'll try fashion up the engine block to chassis ground. Either that or take a look at this battery ground back here. Because it just goes to like part of the, you guys probably can't see, but remaining chassis right here. And maybe that's not the best. It's tight. And I mean, that goes to the rest of the car. I don't know. Seems like, yeah, some sort of voltage drop ground issue. And also when it's cranking there, it does sound like one cylinder is firing wrong or out of time or something, because it kind of farts back through the intake. But then again, that could just be a symptom of the computer not running, because the LS computer, it's not going to run or like try make the vehicle work if it's below a certain voltage. Like 8 volts is probably too low. It's probably 9 or something, and then it doesn't do anything. So got to figure out this voltage drop issue, and then we'll try fire it up. But I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty close, but we got to figure this shit out. Well, update. I'm trying to check the coil wires just by connecting to the plug there, and then on ECM going to which one should control that ignition coil, and I'm not getting anything. So issue number 1. I'm gonna try to figure that out. It should be getting good continuity unless there's just something wrong with my testing method. But you try the probes against each other and they work. Just, you know, trying to track this wire won't. And it runs through this MSD now, which who knows what's. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to figure out. Well, today didn't quite go as planned. All mostly thanks probably to this piece of shit MSD box. I mean, I assume that's why anyway. I rewired all the coil stuff, lengthened a bunch of wires, so they just run from the computer to the coils now. I couldn't get any continuity through this box, which I assume means it's fucked up inside. On the shit horse, I remember the last time we tried to use it, it wouldn't work for whatever reason. I tried to make it activate, which this red light's supposed to turn on. It wouldn't turn on at all. If you do like the coil in, that goes in, and the out to that coil, there's no continuity and it doesn't connect. And this is supposed to be passive when you're not activated, just allowing the computer to control the coils, but it wasn't, because it's a piece of shit apparently. So yeah, no 2-step for now. Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning at this point, so probably, as much as I want to start it up or try to start it up, best not to. But I have everything hooked back up at this point to how it was when Clayton was last out here and we were trying to start it. So with any luck, I should start flick of the key tomorrow. Fuck sakes. Fucking piece of shit MSD box. Like, really? Because I had arranged everything in here to work with that, and now there's all kinds of fucked up shit, but whatever. It should work. We'll find out tomorrow. We did fix a bunch of fuel leaks and further prepare it to run, and you know, there's some positives in all of it. Fuck. So, yes, until next time, sorry we didn't get a run in this video. You heard it crank, you heard it make a little bit of noise, but it's gonna have to be next time, or else I'm setting it on fire. We'll check you later. Oh, and not to mention, it's now Monday morning now, and the race is on Saturday. So, yeah, gotta get her going.